Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Thursday, February the 29th, 2024. Being a leap year, the 29th produced a very strange pattern to an already existing building strange pattern. I'm going to start here on the NASDAQ, and I'm going to begin on the hourly chart. My primary focus is I'm very comfortable so far. Nothing major has made me change the minute 3, the minute 4. So I'm focusing right here on minute wave 5, which, if we're still in this expanding diagonal triangle to finish the whole larger pattern, which is the primary B wave, then we need to see an ABC. And those are going to be on minuet degree because we're looking for a minute fifth wave. So minuet ABC, and that ABC should form a zigzag, which means a 5, 3, 5. So, and the 3 can be a combination of threes. And it's kind of getting a little bit weird because it's becoming more difficult to kind of pinpoint like exactly what are you trying to do, market? And we're getting a lot of gyrations intraday. So what I have done, though, to make an adjustment is I no longer was looking for that sub-minuet fourth wave. Although we could kind of come right into today's low and say, well, maybe that completed it. But I tend to agree that it just started to get too big, too strange in pattern to fit for a fourth within this 5-wave structure. And I of course need to always take a look at wave 2 to wave 4. Wave 4 is drawn out. Wave 4 is much longer in time and much longer just in pattern compared to the second wave. So much cleaner to just leave that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put the minuet wave A here and a minuet B, but I don't think we're complete with the B. So this is where the problem for me really starts to kick in. Now, just again, opening up that hourly chart to see what's going on inside. So I have A, B, or A, and then A of B, B of B, C of B, D of B, E. So it's a very small but weird triangle, but that suddenly no longer fits. So could it be A, B, C, X, A, B, and this very weird 5 down to produce wave A? So get an A. So it's a double. A, B, C, X, A, B, C. And the fifth of that C wave also ends up being a small diagonal. Then it gets even weirder because we look like we come back up and okay, we should be able to go now. It doesn't, it turns and actually puts in an additional low this morning at 17,826. And I'm like, okay. So does the A come over to here? It doesn't count out as well and really screws up the 5. But if I leave the A there, A, B, working on another superiorly strange pattern. This was the PCE data this morning. Blast off, then run it all the way back down, hold basically, 618 of the bar, and then just pick up and start rallying again. Okay, so then it's like, okay, so is this a 5 by any chance? And I'm going to tell you, we're going to bring this right away. Let's bring it down to that 15-minute chart and take a look inside. So I get a 1. I kind of put a 1 there, very strange, but 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Okay, very deep but strange and doesn't overlap, but goes really deep. Now, if I just take it down and put it on a closing basis, which is the line chart, you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or 3, or ABC 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, of note that they rallied it, and if I go back over to the candlestick, they ran it all the way up to 18,109. One big surge within the last, I think it was the last 15 minutes or so. And obviously, this is a 15-minute chart, and they ran it up. Bell rings, and they immediately start to sell it back off. And they bring it all the way back down to 18,035 from 109, 18,109. So not 100 points, but a good 70 points. And then rally it back up. And then slide it just a little bit into that secondary, close of the extra hour. Now, it's such a bizarre pattern, because as soon as you think, okay, got it, then you go, nope, actually you don't. So I'm confronting, and I know many of us are confronting, really, what is it? It's a ton of three-way patterns mixed in with bizarre fives, bizarre threes, but So the way I'm going to leave this right now, again, I'm going to just flip it back out to that hourly chart. And let's just open it this way so we can see inside the A wave. We're working through the B wave. They could, I thought maybe that did complete the B wave. And that we were starting to launch in wave 1 of C. And so, but it gets all caught up. So possibly it is a bizarre C wave, but it's an ABC, and then the B is going to go here. Actually, this has got to be, sorry, I have to change that. I need to bring that down to a sub-minuet, believe it or not. And here's why. Because this is minuet wave A, and this, wherever this finishes, would be minuet wave B. So I got to bring these down even more in terms of degree. And let's put it in that color and drop it down 1 so that we don't have too many that are all the same size. That didn't work, did it? I don't want it on that color. I want it on this color, please. We'll leave it there just to distinguish between the different degrees. So we have the sub-minuet wave A of minuet wave B. And then the B wave breaks down, the sub-minuet B. And they're not that small. So degree, I'm battling it, but I believe that we are working our way up in a minute fifth wave. So all of this breaks down, and they're not teeny tiny waves. They're of decent size. So if it's a C wave, and if we finish up here, and the market continues to work its way lower, but again, after the bell, what do we see? We see NVIDIA going every which way, come down, but then rally back up to finish about $5 higher than where the market closed, regular session. We see Apple, kind of now moving itself a little bit lower, AMAT moving itself a little bit higher, AMD moving itself higher. So to sit here and look like, well, I don't think they're going to open it lower unless something really starts to drag it down. And I'm not really going to say that that's out there, but it could be. Again, if they continue to move it higher and it moves above 18,144, then I'm going to make an assumption that I would not really, I would have to move this over, change it to a B in the magenta, which is the minuet, and somehow work all this internal out and put that B wave here. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll work in a 5. If indeed it's a B, yeah, it can go irregular. It can. But it would be really strange to watch them kind of pump this up to bring it all the way back down and fill in all of these blanks down here. So if it is the B wave, it's kind of coming in higher than what we expected, because the common fibs for a B wave are 50 to 62%. That's down in here. This was the zone. And at one point today, I thought, oh, okay, even here, I thought, well, this actually was ending up looking like it was 3 waves up. Okay, we're going to come down. That was the B wave. We're going to come down. We're going to finish this larger minuet B wave, come into 17,760, maybe all the way back down to here. Because the way they were selling it, it did appear that it was going to do it, but they stopped on a dime and turned. So I got to let the market kind of go. The little bit bigger picture remains the same. How we get there is going to determine a lot. You know, whether they thought PCE was acceptable, not acceptable, whatever it was, they ran the market. Now, that was the plan. That was the plan. But then they sold it quickly, and they sold it deep. So it just was bizarre to kind of fit into the context of what actually is it doing in terms of Elliott. And that's on the hourly chart. So when I take it out, it still is, even if I'm putting it on the 4-hour, opening it up in here. And now it looks all pretty good. In fact, on the 4-hour chart, you almost can say, well, there's the minuet 4. There's the A wave. Probably could put the B wave down here. And start on 1, 2, 3, did a little 4, and we're going to come back up in a 5, wave 1 of C. Do another pullback, 3 of 3, 3 of C, 4 of C, 5 of C. Now, if that's the case, I'm just going to toss it out. I'm going to get rid of these fibs, and we're going to go on the basis that A, B. Then, so we're going to look for what could possibly our C wave look like. Well, 618 is 18,303. So already we're like, yeah, could be, because now we're back up to where we're getting the fibs to match up with the zones. The 100%, 18,598. That fits. We've got the minute at 18,527. Does this one have to be 100%? No, not at all. We'll be watching the structure, which takes a lot at the moment anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to just have to play this out and see how it goes. So the way that I'm viewing it, 2 ways, and it's just keeping a little bit of the larger picture in mind, that we are still in the minuet B wave, and this would be A, and then we put a B up here, and that's provided they don't go and take out that high, which is 18,144, 145. So if we don't take that out, then, and we start to decline rather than rally, then we're looking at, okay, we come all the way back down. Then I've got that C wave of the sub-minuet wave B, and that's going to bring us back below 17,826, and then we have those additional numbers as I showed, and 17,006 into that area, and a little bit lower. Not looking for, it's a zigzag, so it's not gonna, I'm not looking for it to come down below. Let me just put those in. I'm going to put it in, and it's going to show up again, and it's going to start to overlap. So I'm going to go right there. Thank you. And now I'm going to take out that other one so that we're not getting run crossovers. So right now we got 382, but 17,760, 17,670. So, we got another 110 points. But we're from where we may start from, right? So that's if we're still have another leg down to do to complete minuet wave B. And that's of minute wave 5. So it's an A, B, and then we get that C wave. If this B wave is complete, and it may be there, right? Instead of being A, B, somehow we're just going to, not say that I'm just going to force the count, but I will review it, dig deep, and if I have no choice, then I'm either going to leave it here, but call it ABC down to here, put the B wave there, the minuet B here, and then we're off to the races. Likely I would put it here because we did come down and put in a slight new low. And put that B here, and we're in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, heading up for wave 1 of 5. So 1 of C of 5, I should say, excuse me. So we're going to have to wait. Now, tomorrow's an expiration. Could be another wild, wild day. And number-wise, let me just double-check what we do have coming out. We have the S&P manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing, construction spending, consumer sentiment, and a ton of Fed presidents, governors out talking. So, yeah, wow. They've been out a lot this week because I know their meeting comes up in March. So there's enough that could flip it around tomorrow as well. All right. Let's go over moving averages. They're just it's a confusing. I gotta say, they're all kind of gathered up, kind of getting twisted amongst themselves. Let's go take a look at the S&P. It truly is the same type of a story. I'm just going to come down to that 1 hour so I can open it up. Same deal. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was much cleaner here than in the NASDAQ. And put the minuet wave A here. And then this actually kind of comes in a little bit cleaner, but we got it closer to the top. So the B wave could be a flat. The overall pattern is a zigzag, and we already have wave A coming in with a 5. So no harm, no foul there if wave B ends up being a flat. So, but we got up to 51.14. The high to break is 51.23. Where are you? Right there, 51.23. That would then start to build that, C wave is in progress. So if I had to, it would be kind of 1, 2, 2, slightly below the starting point of wave 1. But if I take it and put it on a closed basis, it doesn't. And then we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and this could be wave 1. So if anything, it could just, the B wave could be done over here. And now we're starting the C wave. Now, otherwise, could be A, B, C, maybe comes up a little bit more, does not go above there, putting in a B wave, then we get a turn lower, and we still come back into here, 60 to 40 to 20, somewhere in there, putting in a C wave, and then that all gets labeled as minuet wave B, and we turn and we start to run as we start minuet wave C of minute wave 5. I know it's kind of that bizarre, but what are you going to do? So here we've got fibs for this, actually, just to how high this B wave could get. So 786 is up here, 5110. And I believe we got pretty close. Yeah, we got over it actually in that push. Now it's a tail, but when you're counting and you're trading via the candlesticks, it counts. So not looking for it to go all that much higher. And right now, we're not getting any of our opening indications of where we're going to go. Although they've got an offer out there at 78. No, wrong market. 5,175, 51. So we're down back here. Well, if that holds and they can get it to start to move lower, we could have a fairly decent decline back down, get that B wave in, and then start wave C. So I need the market to clean it up, to be honest with you. Need the market to clean this up for us. And we shall see. Now, moving averages also here kind of in a quandary as what to do. So I'm going to remove this because it's exceeded everything. So if anything, I'm not looking for really for it to come back to 50 to 62% retracement. Pretty much as a flat. So you're kind of going to be looking for it to come back down to like 55,060, excuse me. And maybe a little bit more below. So that's 14 and that's 23. So 9 additional points, 51. And that brings us into this zone. That would be expectations. But again, we'll look at it tomorrow and we'll see how the market counts itself out and what happens overnight. And so we got Globex. If we end up breaking 51.23, then I'm telling you that I likely will put this all together as wave B, minuet wave B, and that we're working on the first 5 up for wave 1 of minuet wave C of minute wave 5. This is where I'm going to end it. I just went over exactly what we're looking for, just to recap. Tomorrow, we have the S&P U.S. Manufacturing PMI, the final. We have ISM Manufacturing, which looks like it's going to be coming in with an increase. Construction spending, which will have dropped. Not bad because it was a tough month. We had a lot of rain, a lot of snow all over the country. So it's winter, so that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. And then consumer sentiment, the final for February, basically unchanged. All right. So I'm going to hope that I can get it together to put out a technical update. Time-wise, we have a little bit of a conflict for Sasha. So I will try to work it out and we'll try to get something together. If not, then it might just be me. And but I'll try to put something together. So because I know people are really that follow us within the NASDAQ are liking Sasha's work. And when we do the combination of both of us, it seems to be very helpful. I will try to do that. In the meantime, I will try to get a big picture technical podcast done on Saturday. And I'll take a look as to what the market's going to do on Sunday, but pretty much I'll be covering everything on that podcast. So the next Elliott Wave update would then be on Monday, March the 4th. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great trading day tomorrow.